Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a different kind of video, kinda. I'll probably just lump this in with Shay or Grin, but ultimately, I just wanted to pick your brain about a game that I seen recently, as well as a few years back, and I kind of lost track of it, and then it popped up again, and I was like, oh shit, this looks awesome. Really, really cool. And of course, that game I am talking about has a lot of similarities with Let It Die and Monster Hunter to a certain extent in terms of like the larger-than-life battles, and specifically its most compared counterpart, Dark Souls, because of course everything is Dark Souls. But this game is called Code Vein. It's developed by Bandai Namco as well as published by them. It is slated to release sometime in 2019. Now, I haven't had a chance to play it, just observe it and see it and listen to interviews about the game because I think it looks pretty rad. Because unlike most other games that are just like, hey, we're difficult because fuck you, and Dark Souls is successful, so by doing that we'll be successful. I don't like this mentality. But it seems like Code Vein does a lot of things other than just being hard. Like for instance, as of the gameplay, which hopefully I can find some and show it to you guys on screen now, not only is it anime as hell, which may be endearing to some, negative to others, it's really endearing to me, it looks awesome, but the thing that this game does, which I really, really enjoy, is companions. So yes, you're in this brutal, unforgiving world, and anyone who plays Let It Die, the game we play mostly on the channel, we feel that that unforgiving world, that oh god help me kind of experience, and that this game has similar things where you can level up your armor and your weapon and all those things, as well as a crazy customization option. Like I seen the customization options in the game, and it's like the amount of things you can do with your hair. Like you layer your hair so you can have like some emo, like single hair coming down your face. It's kind of wild. Haven't seen customization like that in a while. Last I seen it, it was in Saints Row, and that was pretty well done. Point being is I love the idea of adding companions into a Dark Souls world. Like having a little friend to keep you company. Now it does feel like they talk too much. In the gameplay trailers, a lot of time when you're just walking about, they're like, oh my god, what is that out of context thing? Because I can't give context because I'll have to say 1,000 voice lines. So they just say, oh my god, look at that. It's kind of annoying at times, but the idea of having a companion in a brutal world to me almost gives it some levity, which I love. Again, haven't played the game, could be, but that alone is really cool. Now the other thing I really like is the weird, it's like vampire-esque. So you have like blood arts, it looks like, or at least that's the way you envision them. You're like, oh shit, that looks like you're using your blood to manifest the weapon and wreck the world. Now, the ones that I've seen, I think there's gonna be more, but there's this crazy tail that you can summon that's like a mixture of blood and steel and can give you incredible range. Now the thing is I'm not sure if by using these kind of like special abilities, which don't seem to be like restricted, like you know how some abilities are like in Dark Souls, you have to like burn an item to gain that benefit. It doesn't seem like it's like this. It just seems like it's on a cooldown, which I kind of prefer. That way it's not as, I'll just never use items. That's the person I am, because I don't want to waste anything, but then I'll end the game and have 1,000 of the things. So yeah, the fact that they regenerate after a time is awesome. I probably should look into it more, but I'm not sure if by using these weird blood arts, if you gain health back or if you just power up a rage move, because that was something that we've seen in the trailer way back in the day when this thing was first announced. I believe it was like in 2018, 17, something like that. Nevertheless, it looks wicked. You also have other abilities, so like this blood art can manifest in different ways. You can manifest these two hounds, these wolves on your shoulder blades with like, they're kind of like hovering over you. It can like rip apart a person. There's also a claw, a giant like demon claw that can just stab into someone, and it seems like you're trying to drain their blood. Anytime I see screenshots of it, the main character is wearing 1,000 different outfits that all look like a mixture of like steampunk meets vampire meets like metal, like lots of metal, and it's just wicked to me. And again, with the addition of companions, I'm pretty sure that I don't think they can change their outfit. I think they're a status like set in stone. Maybe like if you do like a loyalty mission for them, they may get a better one. I don't know if that's a thing. I just feel like if you're gonna do companions, you probably should have something like that. Also, with the gameplay that you are seeing, some of the individuals, whew, What? Yes. Okay. Anyways, moving on. On the topic of its like Dark Souls nature, like the fact that it's incredibly difficult. From the things that I've seen, it doesn't. Well, okay. So I've seen gameplay of like the very first couple seconds of the game where you're creating your character and all that stuff, and it's tutorial stuff. So the first boss you fight is not going to be that bad. Although already I am way more invested in the combat than I am in Let It Die. Because in Let It Die, you're animation hard locked, and most of the animations are very bad. Like, and in terms of bad, I mean like they hold you there for a long time. So it's almost like you need to have an insane amount of future reference to bend the combat to your liking. So like you need to know how much that weapon hits for, or how long that weapon attacks for, so that you know the opening that can benefit your weapon. Whereas this game, it seems like, and it's my favorite thing, they're not animation locking you, which to me is so freaking great, man. Because I'm the kind of person that my brain can react to things quick, but it also inputs things fast. So I want to, like, I have a button masher's brain, but I also want to back out of my button mashing if I need to do a split-second dodge, instead of being like, oh, I hit the attack button, I shouldn't have done that, and now he's gonna easily kill me, and I can see his blade coming down to my face, and I got hit. Well, great. I had the forethought to leave, but I couldn't, because I had to make the choice and see it through, which is annoying. Also, when it comes to abilities, you can like hit up on the D-pad, and I believe it activates a bunch of effects. I can imagine you get blood armor, you get a berserker kind of ability. I can imagine all these things. Also, the leveling up mechanics seem like it's like an RPG Dark Souls, which seems pretty awesome, but also the world looks interesting. By the way, these are the same people that made a game called God Eater. I know it's an anime. I'm meaning to watch it at some point, but it also seems like it's, I mean, I don't want to be I don't want to say better because they're different, but when I see the gameplay of God Eater, it seems kind of like Monster Hunter, but like on ice almost, like less animation set and more just kind of floaty, which I'm not sure if it's good or bad, but at least in Code Vein, it does seem like that's a little bit more refined, and it's not so, because you're not dealing with like these monstrosity big enemies. Hopefully things seem a little more like grounded and set in stone rather than kind of floaty. Because that's also the other risk you run of like having combat that you can easily get out of. So that's like the beginning gameplay where it seems like manageable, right? But then when you see them like skate forward to like level 10 and they're fighting enemies, you start to see what it looks like when like a ton of enemies rush you, which is interesting because if you've ever played Dark Souls, that changes the game entirely. Bloodborne specifically, I remember being like, oh, this combat's easy, but the minute that you have like 3 enemies on you, you're like, shit. And just like that, this game is like that, except it almost seems like there's courtesy, and like the enemies will give a second for you to react. So they won't just keep attacking and barraging you without limit, which is nice. But also, your companions, on the topic of that actually, they're okay. It seems like they're not great. They're not gonna kill things really. They may do a little bit, but they're not gonna, kill things. But it does look like their main objective is like a pawn, so they're gonna gain aggro, heal you when you go down if they have a second life ability. They also probably have ranged abilities that can stun people for a long time, or like put them in an animation state where you could maybe execute them with a certain skill. I don't know. Also, when it comes to the RPG mechanics, I've heard someone go into that, and that's insane sounding. Where like you can, if you go down a skill tree and you really use one of the skills a lot, your character will almost memorize that skill. So then when you go into another skill tree, you can still have that skill. I don't know how that works. I don't know how much you need to do or what that looks like, but it sounds interesting. And again, this is similar to a Let It Die, where you have, similar to Dark Souls as well, where you have a hub where you're always gonna have your like merchant, all this stuff, upgrade ability, get your quests. That's the only thing I think differs is it seems like it's a lot more obvious about the story. It's not a lot of vagueness. It's pretty obvious. You got this weirdo looking out for you who needs a better shirt, frankly. But anyways, and you're of course some sort of special thing. I don't know for vampires in the world, or if we just can use blood. I don't know what the lore is, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm trying to explain. Anyways, yeah, I just thought I'd let you guys know about the game. I don't know, it's been a while since I've seen a game and I was like, oh, I'd cover that. Fuck yeah. Not only is it similar to what we jive with on the channel, which is like, kind of upgradability, roguelike games, it very much seems like that. Also, personally, I love anime a lot. You guys know, bit of a weeb, but anyways, also the monstrous enemies seem great. Again, the companion thing is a big sell for me, because again, I just think that'd be a really cool idea of experiencing a shitty world. Yes, but at least you're not alone. At least you have some sort of, like, you know, happy-go-lucky person with you, or maybe you have a miserable emo. I don't know. But that would be fun to experience the world. Also, I've missed a game that has insane customization for a while, and every time I see any screenshot, the main character looks different and badass in every way. And yeah, the only thing I'm worried about is the combat. I'm hoping it doesn't come across as janky. I'm hoping it comes across as smooth, but then again, that may be the draw to this, where like, yes, we have companions, yes, we have customization, yes, we have storytelling, but you know, you sometimes skate around a little bit and the bosses kind of look derpy at times, but you know, it'll work out. I don't know, but thus far I'm very excited for the game, and I hope dearly that I can cover it. Because yeah, also I don't know how or when it'll come out. It's sometime in 2019, so this year at some point. Hopefully it's not around the time Borderlands comes out, because that'll be my life for a bit. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about the game. I can't wait to actually experience it. Anyways, subscribe button above me, 2 videos to my right, and goodbye.